for a quadratic. So the graphs will go on forever in the x. Can someone please tell me, I don't remember where I stopped. I think, Natasha, I'm up to you though, I think. What does the domain mean if it goes off forever? How do I write that?
It's just like XCR.
XCR. Okay. All right, now I'm going to pick on someone in particular here, because him and I are best friends. Logan, you're going to give me the range here right now. Just wait, I'm going to talk you through it and you can do it. Okay? So the way you find the range here is you look at the graph. There is actually a key point. What's the key point for a graph to know what the range is going to be? Yeah, the vertex is the key point. Okay? So, Logan, back to you. What's my range going to be in English? And I'll write it mathematically.
Keep getting lower than -11.
Right on. So we're going to use the positive attitude in that. We're going to say y has to be bigger than -11. Okay, so we'll say y is greater than or equal to -11. Okay. Does that make sense for people? Right? Because this is people are having troubles with this, so I want to make sure life is good. Kenzie, all as well.
For homework, are we allowed to use decimals?
You can if you want to. Okay, I can't look over your shoulder and say that you're not. But a lot of students are not going to be allowed to use decimals on your tests.
Yeah.
So just remember that, right?
Well, that's common sense.
Okay, let's move on. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Time purpose, my like
Yes.
real value.
Yeah, if you write, yeah, if you do it a different way, as long as I sort of get this, that's what I'm looking for, right? This is, I went to University of Waterloo, this way we did at university, so. That's that. Okay, I'm going to talk about inverses briefly, and then we're going to do the question. Actually, before I talk about inverses, I'm going to write your homework on the board. It depends. If it's a parabola, you can do it right from the equation. Right.
Like an 8.
Well, you have to graph.
Like the remaining range.
Yeah.
Just from.
Yeah. Well, it would be, you can find all these. Yes. If you find the vertex, once you get the vertex, you can tell if it's above or below. So if it opens upwards, it's going to be less than the vertex. Well, the x would be like this, would be the vertex one. The vertex would be 4 times 1. Right?
How do you tell if it's like?
Well, the x will always be infinite for the parabola.
Oh.
All right, I'm going to write your homework on the board first, then we're going to finish up. Your homework is going to be page 2, do number 8. So I know all of you skipped it. Okay, and 11 and 12. I shouldn't say all of you. I should say 3/4 of the class plus skip number 8. Okay, so number 8 you're actually going to do tonight. So if you said it all the way up to 8A, too bad. Do the rest of it, okay? Because a lot of people said that. I'm going to talk about, yes?
Okay, so for the quadratic formula, I would use that and not the MAF.
Oh, good question. This is a very good question. I'm glad you asked. Sorry, Natasha, I'm sorry for that your name. When somebody help her, why would I even use the quadratic formula? That looks like a mess. Like, I like factoring, it's great. When do you use the quadratic formula? Yes.
You can't factor.
You can't factor it. So if you do the m and the a, and that's the question you were asking, you couldn't find the m and the a, so you just plug in the quadratic formula. You can also do
Or
quadratic.
like a way I can like avoid like no wages. I can't use it.
No, you gotta actually use it.
Yeah,
You gotta use your brain. Yeah, you gotta use your brain. But the way Mr. Lacey said, again, I love Mr. Lacey, but I don't agree with this. I say you should always try and factor. But he says if you can't find the roots in 30 seconds, like if you can't find the m and the a, just plug in the quad formula. That was his philosophy. So, okay, let's talk about inverses. Where's my pen here? Because this is going to lead into part B. So I just want to do a quick little definition, then we'll actually get to part B. Okay? So inverses. This is when the inputs are switched with the outputs. So inverses sound so difficult, but all it means is your x's, you switch with your y's. That's all you do. Okay? So to continue this question on to part B, we're going to make a little tiny chart for f of x and f negative 1 of x. My 4 key points were Somebody help if I get this wrong. Is that 1 and 11? 1 and negative 11, 0 and negative 9. Those are my 4 key points, right? Okay. Lisa, I'm up to you here right now. Don't say, uh-oh, you can do this, okay? It says we're just going to switch our inputs, which are x's with the y's. So all you have to do for these is switch your x and your y's. So what's the corresponding point? If this is your function, what's the corresponding point over here going to be? Very good. Keep going.
0 and 3.35.
Yeah.
And negative 11 and 1. And greater than 9.
Right, and that's all there is to inverses. We're going to make an equation with it in a second here, okay? But that's all there is to inverses. Please tell me when everyone's done writing that, because I'm going to go back to the graph and just put that on my other graph. Okay? So you guys can do that right now. Plot those 4 points onto your graph, and that's all I have to do graph. Okay? Don't give me that sad look. I haven't. I'm going to pause here so she doesn't hear me say this. Sorry, I'm
Why
going
would
to.
a 7-year-old be watching these math videos?
Because I told them to follow me. Because after I put you guys saw I put the Plants vs. Zombies on there, so they followed me now. They think I'm going to make nothing but. I think I'm a video game legend right now. All right, let's go on to this here though. So we're going to go back to this graph. My points I think were 0, 1.35, 0, negative 3.35, 1, negative 11, 1. Whoops, negative 111, 1. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to do this one in blue.
Yeah,
Okay, I got those backwards, sorry. 0, negative 1, 0, 3. Is that better? That's how it is? Okay, so 0, negative 1.35 is down here someplace. 0, 3.35 is up here someplace. Negative 11, 1 is over here someplace. Oh my goodness, this is so off balance. And negative 9, 0 is about here. What shape have I just made? Parabola, sideways parabola, right? That's what it is. Okay? Does this look familiar to anybody from last year? It should, okay, because I've taught grade 11, 19 times. I know that you guys do this. Okay. You might have done a little bit differently, but this is something the sideways probably should know last year. Okay, Logan, I'm going to give you a pass on domain and range. I'll give you a pass this time. I'll pick on somebody else. Okay. All right. So we're going to do domain and range of this inverse right now. I'm going to start with Charles Stanley. In this case, the domain isn't going to be everything, okay? Because clearly, if I say when x is negative 20, there's no value. Okay? So can you please tell me what the domain for that blue graph is going to be, please?
X can be any real value such that x is greater than or equal to negative 11.
Thank you. Uh-oh. Let's go. I have enough room? Shoot, I don't. Sorry. I want to put these side by side. I'm going to use the power of technology. Did I cut that? Oh, shoot. Maybe I'm not going to use the power of technology like I thought I was. Okay, what I was trying to show you with the domain of the range, though, was this is my... This totally isn't as smooth as I wanted it to be. This was f of x's domain, right? So Charles said the domain was x is greater than or equal to negative 11. Can somebody tell me, and this goes to anybody here, why is Charles right? Why does that make sense in terms of what a inverse is? Go ahead.
Because the domain and range are like base change,
Why? Why?
because we switch the y and the x.
Right, the x and the y values just switch, right? So, Olivia, without even looking at the graph, what should my range be? Yeah, so if you take a look at the range here, this says XER. Over here, my range is going to be YER.
So the first is what?
Sorry, okay. Good. Okay, I have one last thing to do before I end here. And if I run out of time, that's okay, because you don't need it for your homework. But you will need it for your test and future lessons. Are you ready? So the last thing I asked you was find the equation of f inverse of x. So f of x was equal to, I think it was 2x minus 1 squared minus 11. Is that right? That was f of x, I think. Can somebody just confirm that for me? Okay, so we're going to use find the inverse of this. What if it's name? I want to call you Madison. Is that right?
Yeah.
Sorry, Madison. What was the definition of an inverse? What do we do for an inverse? Do you remember? Okay, somebody help me. What's the definition of an inverse? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, so the inputs are the x's and the y's just switched. So my regular function is this. The inverse is going to be this. So you see what I just did there? I just switches my x and my y's. Now, the thing that makes this a grade 11 or 12 question is this. I have to isolate my y now. So I need to get y by itself. Matthew. Sorry. It's okay. You don't have to apologize. You did nothing wrong. Okay? So you want to see, this is like, I don't hear seeing, I'll see you now. It'll come to me. What's the, with the big green over, what's that track? I don't hear seeing track. Your math teacher is like an ogre. He has many layers. Okay. So the reason I'm saying this is, that you're going to take one layer off in this algebra at a time. Okay. So what's the first thing I'm getting rid of to get y by itself, please? Maybe 11. So it's going to be like x plus 11. Excellent. Rachel, what's my next step? What's the next thing furthest away from y, please? What's the next thing I have to get rid of?
That's a good question.
Just give her 1 sec.
Well,
No.
no.
The square, well, the problem is with the squared, you still have to affect this. So I'm probably not going to do that today. I'm going to move the 2 over first and then get rid of the square, okay? Now, remember, we're moving the squared over. So what's the opposite of squaring? Square root. So it's going to be plus or minus. And this is where this gets into your homework from last night. And I'm sorry I got things out of order. Last step is going to be what? Add 1. I heard somebody say, I hope.
Oh.
So this is the equation of a sideways parabola. Is that guy right there. Okay? So a square, technically if you look at the graph of the square root of x, it looks like this. The negative square root of x looks like this. So together it turns into a sideways parabola. All right? Sort of good? I think I'm done for one day. Okay? So that's 8, 11, and 12. We're going to actually start with the real course tomorrow. Okay, so this is just warm up. Yes? That's okay. The original equation, this is... Okay, hold on a sec here. I got a question here. Hold on 1 sec. So it says here originally, why'd I go y with the y here, and then why'd I go x? Okay, so what I did was I changed f of x into y because they mean the same thing.
Yeah.
So y equals this. In order for the equation to be inverse, the definition is the x and y switch. So that's what it is. I took this equation, I switched the x and the y. Okay, that's just by definition. Good job in the homework the first night. I want no excuses for number 8 tonight. If you don't know what to do, FOIL it out and get it into standard form. Okay, you guys can do it. All right, confidence in yourselves. Andy, you can do this. Okay. I told you there. No, it's not. Thank you.
Can I write? Can I explain how like?
Hey.